This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
As tourist numbers to our state continue to grow, Tourism Tasmania has developed a new international marketing approach to ensure the trend continues. It involves employing Tasmanian marketing managers across the globe who will work on enticing visitors from destinations including North America.
We're the state attracting visitors from around the world, but a new review into Tassie's tourism markets reveals key destinations we need to tap into. They include North America, Germany, France, Switzerland and more of Asia.
What Tourism Tasmania is doing is looking at markets overseas, targeting specific markets and looking at innovative and unique ways that we can market into those regions and make sure that we continue to see visitor growth to our shores.
To entice more visitors to the Upper Isle, Tourism Tas is partnering with Tourism Australia to employ Tasmanian marketing managers to be based in North America and Germany. The state-owned organisation will also engage managers to work in Hong Kong, China and Singapore. The new approach comes as Launceston Airport begins the next stage of its redevelopment to cope with increasing demand. A new temporary screening point is now in place to allow for a new X-ray area to be built.
I suppose you could call it a reshaping of our terminal.
The temporary arrangement is expected to remain until September. Once the $2 million construction is completed, passengers will be security screened straight after check-in, allowing more time for relaxing in the retail space.
And also improving punctuality for our airlines, because having everyone here and ready to board is important and helps get aircraft away on time.
Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
More than 150 unregistered or unwanted firearms have been surrendered to Tasmania Police just a week after the launch of a national firearm amnesty. A number of historic weapons were turned in, including a 150-year-old antique revolver. It's now expected to be donated to a local museum, while a highly illegal SKS military-style semi-automatic rifle was anonymously surrendered.
Because there is no record of them. This is an opportunity without any consequence to bring them in to police or to firearms dealers and remove them from the streets.
It's safer for the community to have every firearm in Tasmania known, and for those that are not to be registered, they'll be destroyed, and that is the way to keep Tasmania safe.
A mobile amnesty will travel around the state over the coming months. Hobart has skyrocketed into the top 50 residential growth cities in the world, according to a new performance index. The Global Residential Cities ranking places Tasmania's capital above Barcelona in Spain and Tokyo in Japan. House prices in Hobart rose by 11.3% in the year to March, moving up from 77th to 34th in price growth, while Sydney and Melbourne also improved, now ranking 23rd and 24th respectively. House prices worldwide have increased on average, with Chinese cities dominating the top rankings. Tasmania's celebration of voice and music continues this weekend as the Festival of Voices ramps up its winter schedule. Renowned Melbourne act Jazz Party today offering a sneak peek into their late-night voice box performance.
It's the sultry sounds hoping to lure you off your seat. Known as Melbourne's best kept secret, Jazz Party is bringing its slippery mix of music to Tasmania exclusively for the Festival of Voices.
Definitely strong New Orleans flavours. Jazz, soul, R&B, rhythm and blues, very danceable, very dramatic.
Its sporadic Melbourne schedule is part of the Jazz Party charm, a band born out of house party jamming.
So we'd do a month in one venue and just sort of secretive, and it would be packed every Monday night, and then we'd take a month off and disappear and then show up somewhere else.
This time keeping their feet somewhat planted as resident house band for Voicebox with 6 late-night performances.
So we're the after party. We're the place to come and let loose and, have a good time.
Also across the 2-week festival is free performances via pop-ups, including here at the Salamanca Lawns with the New South Wales Glorious Mud Singers.
it's joy, it's informality, and it's, just happiness. That's what we try and communicate.
The full list of events is on the Festival of Voices website. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania's oldest pipe band is putting the finishing touches on its show Celtic Force before it begins touring the state next weekend. The St Andrews Caledonian Pipe Band giving Launceston shoppers a sneak peek performance in the Brisbane Street Mall this morning.
It's a variety show with not just the pipe band, but also Highland dancers, singers, musicians of other sorts and all the rest of it. So it's about 2.5 hours on stage. It's virtually an on-stage tattoo. So for the people who like the Edinburgh military tattoo, they'll certainly like coming and seeing this show.
Celtic Force will be performed in Burnie next Saturday and will move to Launceston on July 22 and 23. The Launceston Silverdome has been flooded with a sea of pink in support of the Breast Cancer Network of Australia. Fans turning out to today's Northern Hawks versus Corona Flames match dressed as bright as they could be to raise funds. Those on court also joining in the festivities. Similar scenes could also be seen at the Hawks-Giants clash at UTAS Stadium, players wearing a special pink guernsey in support of Tasmanians affected by cancer.
Well, it was a nail-biter at Blunston Arena this afternoon, with the Blues challenging Clarence in the final term to almost pull off a gutsy come-from-behind win. Not so close at KG5 and North Hobart Oval, with Glenorchy and Lauderdale easy winners against the Dockers and the D's.
Billed as the match of the round, the Clarence-Launceston clash at Blunston Arena didn't disappoint. Trent Standen was solid in his return for the Roos, with the home side boasting a handy 4-goal lead at the first change. Sam Siggins continued his impressive season, but the Blues wouldn't be bullied, with Brendan Taylor booting the visitors back into the game. With only a major in it at the long break, costly free kicks allowed the Roos to regain the edge. Some fancy footwork from Standen gave him another, but the Blues refused to say die, rallying in the final term to boot themselves back to within a goal. Clarence showing their class to finish strong, closing it out by 27 points. An historic match for Lauderdale, with all three McGuinness brothers lining up across half-back, and the Bombers set about making it a day to remember, with Bryce Walsh bombing one home from outside the arc to give the visitors the early lead. A Lauderdale lapse allowed Hobart City to get one back, courtesy of Josh Williams, but that was just about where the D's highlight reel ended as the Bombers began to fly. A pinpoint Thor Boscott pass found its mark in Tutai Avea, with the big forward converting to give the visitors a handy buffer. Solid hands from Campbell Hooker saw the Bombers boot away before Alex Hill won up Walsh's earlier efforts, tucked away on the boundary from 55 out. Michael Bidgood managed one back for the D's, but it was all the Bombers, running away the 89-point winners. Zach Webster impressed in his return for Glenorchy, racking up the early possessions as the Pies dominated the Dockers at KG5. Harrison Gunther starred down forward, helping to boot the Pies away to an 11-goal lead at the main break. The visitors' frustrations boiling over, with Nick McKenna gifting the home side another. Braden Webb also firing in an embarrassing day out for Burnie, with the Pies dishing out a 144-point thrashing.
Well, the North West Thunder have sent a message to the Siebel South Conference ladder that they're still a force to be reckoned with. The side's imports fired in Albury-Wodonga overnight as the Thunder held off the Bandits to keep their playoff hopes alive.
With every game now crucial to make playoffs and secure a top 4 finish, the Thunder came out firing, capitalising on every Albury mistake. Import Ahmed Starks was lightning quick on the floor, racking up 16 points and helping the Thunder to a narrow lead at the first break. The visitors extending it further in the second quarter thanks to some solid Jeremiah Ingram defence and Daniel Sapoka's accuracy from downtown. Sapoka continued to drain them throughout the game, with Ingram providing his own highlight reel magic. The Bandits edged themselves back into the match in the third term, making the Thunder earn it in the home stretch. But the visitors finished strong to hold on for the 8-point win. In the night's other matches, the Hobart Chargers' bad run on the road continued, going down to Dandenong by 7 points. A better result for the women's side, with Michaela Roof top scoring with 22 as the side dispatched of Dandenong by 8 points. To soccer, and it took the Lions 63 minutes of play to break the deadlock with the Zebras at Lightwood Park, courtesy of Danny Cohen. Looking like they were home in the 90th minute, a Kingborough handball in the box gave the Zebras the chance to equalise, with Jaden Hay putting it away for the 1-1 draw. And Scottsdale have taken out the inaugural Tasmanian Women's League Premiership in a fiery clash at Rochalee, with the Pies clawing their way back from an early deficit against Evandale to win it by a convincing 31-point margin.
Good evening. We had a cold and frosty start to the day today, with fog lingering in some areas until early afternoon. Hobart and Launceston both reached a top of 12. It was 13 in Burnie and 11 in Devonport. 15 degrees was the state's high at Friendly Beaches. It was 13 at Wynyard and on the islands, 11 at Strawn and Low Head, and after dropping to -7 overnight, it warmed up to 7 degrees at Lyoini. The satellite shows mostly low-level cloud over Tasmania and southern parts of the mainland, with a band of middle-level cloud lying across central parts of the Northern Territory and Queensland. On the close-up, we can see extensive areas of fog through the Midlands and Fingal Valley, with cloud covering the western half of the state. And there's some convective cloud over Bass Strait as well. Tomorrow, a trough extends over the northeast of Tasmania as a cold front crosses waters south of the Bight. West to northwesterly winds increasing to 20 to 30 knots about the northeast, swells to 3 metres in the west and south. There's a strong wind warning for northeastern waters between Flinders Island and St Helens Point, as well as southern and western waters between Tasman Island and Sandy Cape. Partly cloudy in Hobart tomorrow, looking at a top of 13 degrees. The same for Richmond, ooze 12. Launceston, a morning shower or two, a top of 12. Showers easing in Devonport, 13. Deloraine, 11. Showers for Burnie and Curry, both 13, Strawn 12. St Helens, showers 13, Swansea and Whitemark both looking at 13 also. Now let's take a look ahead to next week. Monday, showers about the west, south and far north, with morning frost and snow falling to around 600 metres in the southwest. Tuesday will have a very cold start with widespread frost, showers about the west and southeast coast, but a mostly fine and sunny day elsewhere. It's looking to be cold and frosty again on Wednesday, but fine and mostly sunny throughout the day. Now let's take a look around the country tomorrow. Brisbane mostly sunny, 21, 18 and sunny for Sydney, and a shower or two easing in Melbourne with a top of 14 degrees. Now here's a look at the current conditions around the state. 8 and cloudy in Hobart, Launceston 8 degrees, partly cloudy, and some cloud in Devonport, also 7 degrees. And that's all the weather I've got for you. Thanks, Rach.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Britt. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks so much for your company. Good night.